at midday.com are very excited to have two special guests, Abhishek Bachchan and Chitrangda Singh, for Bob Biswas coming on Z5. So firstly, Abhishek, please tell us, Bob Biswas is a memorable character, and how did you make it your own?
Well, the good thing is for him that he has no memory whatsoever, so he's not memorable to himself at all.
Yeah, true.
So that's how I made it my own. I think I was greatly aided by a fantastic script and vision of Sujoy and Dia. But when you have a character who's lost his memory and has to try and find his bearings, you get that liberty and freedom to create a new character. And that's what we tried to do.
And Chitrangda, please tell us, looking stunning as ever, so please tell us, about what excited you most about this film?
I'll be very honest. I was most excited about working with Sujoy. In some way, he was a writer, he is a writer of Bob Biswas, and his daughter was making her first film. He was very invested in the film, and I did feel it was an opportunity. I felt fortunate that he thought of me to play, a part which was kind of integral, important to the script, in the sense that that this is what is the only last chance of Bob ever changing what he ever did, becoming and wanting to change, actually, as a person. And she represents that need, of wanting this home and this goodness in life and this wholesomeness to it, and this, so she is that one person who's worth it. So yeah, I mean, for me, I thought it was interesting to play that in your presence and play that in and when I saw the film, after the whole thing was cut and edited and everything, I realized actually everything that Sujoy said to me made so much sense. You don't realize you are shooting kar rahe hote ho, aap ek ke baad ek scene kar rahe ho, ye idhar udhar sab, but when it comes together, you realize that this is what he meant, like this is what she does for him, and this is why this was so important. To play it this way and not get melodramatic about things, and she takes it all in, she holds it together. So that I thought it's just come out so beautifully, and I'm so happy that I'm part of this, and yeah, happy to have worked with Sujoy like this. Yeah.
Okay, and this is for both of you. So how fond are you of crime thrillers in real life as audiences, not just as actors?
Yeah, I love, except that we mostly had it like James Bond or Bourne Identity or, one of these films. But yeah, I think it's always nice when you have a little bit of a thriller aspect to things, and just the whole, not vapid, but, the love story, the way it is. But there's so much more happening. There's something dangerous about it. I quite like it. Yeah.
And Abhishek, you as well.
No, absolutely. I mean, anything that's engaging, but crime thrillers are always exhilarating to watch.
And with you, your look has been like you're almost unrecognizable. Really, the transformation is amazing. So, please tell us about that, and also, of course, the accent and getting the character to the T. You're receiving a lot of praise.
Well, thank you. I'm very humbled that people have recognized the effort and are appreciating it. So yes, I mean, I've always been an actor that believes in looking the part, and I just feel it takes care of half of your job. We were very clear, Dia and I, of how Bob had to look. I was very clear that I didn't want to use prosthetics to show the weight gain, because that hampers the whole acting process for me. So it was a process of putting on unhealthy amount of weight and keeping it there, and then obviously the rest of it all fell into place. So yeah, there's no accent. I mean, it's apart from that Namaskar, there's no accent. Sujoy was very clear in his writing that he didn't want to keep a Bengali accent for Bob. So there's no accent that we had to work on. Apart from that, I mean, it's like I said, I think so much of your work gets done if you have a brilliantly written script. And I think both of us as actors were very lucky, because half the characterization is already written into the film. And it's a matter of just going out there and executing.
And Chitrangda, about your prep as well, like anything that you'd like to mention?
Nothing as compared to, I guess, the transformation he had to go through. It was just mostly, yes, he did ask me to put on a little bit of weight if I could, just so that I looked more, how do you say, a working class woman who really doesn't have a time to, get to a gym or, things like that. So I did try to put on, and I think I did put on a little bit of weight. Other than that, I think just the whole idea of just toning down everything city, to try and get rid of everything city and be a little bit more, how do you say, like a middle class woman who'd work in a bank and come back home to a daughter who she's trying to save money together to just get her to have her tuitions. She wants to get into medical or something. And so, yeah, like a very ordinary woman who's going about her. So there had to be that ordinariness to her actions, to the way she is, she dresses, her clothes, what she's wear at night and sit, so all of that helped a big deal. Yeah.
And with the OTT boom, there are a lot of more interesting subjects and writing actually coming out. So what do you guys feel about that?
I think as actors, we're in the golden spot because we've got so many different other mediums through which we can show our work.
Yes.
So I think we're very lucky, and it's really nice because the OTT space has given rise to wonderful actors being discovered and coming out as well. OTT is also a space where the concentration is purely on just your acting.
Right.
Whereas in cinema, there's a lot more to it than just acting. The requirement is tenfold in cinema. In OTT, you have the liberty and the luxury to just be a great performer and you'll get work. So that's wonderful. And like I said, as actors, you can't complain because you have yet another avenue through which you can bring your stories and your content to the audience.
And of course, Mr. Bachchan tweeted as well, which is, something like every actor waits for. Of course, he's your dad, but, that's a huge compliment. So please tell us about what was your reaction when you read that tweet.
Yeah, I was bowled over. I was very overwhelmed. I continue to be overwhelmed. Apart from being his son, I'm his biggest fan. And to get your idol to recognize your work, to see your work is a huge compliment in itself, let alone if you do good work and he thinks you've done good work. Just the fact that he saw the trailer and felt the need to write something about it is very overwhelming. And I'm truly very humbled, and I'm panicking now because now I want the film to be even better because, he's got certain hopes now and you don't want those hopes to come crashing down.
Yeah. And Chitrangda, you being a producer as well, so has your view of how films or even OTT functions changed? You have a better perspective and a better understanding.
Oh, yes. No, absolutely. I mean, it was such a big learning for me. Really, I think that the hardest thing I've ever done is done that, having to produce that film and taken it from scratch. I have so much respect for producers and for the money spent and everything costs money and it adds up to your budget of the film, and that's how much weight the film has to carry then. So I have so much respect, and I think it's been such a good learning for me to see it from that end. And more than anything else, I think just learning how to handle your HR becomes really good. It's almost like you worked in an HR department and you really have to manage people, I mean, you got to manage your team, and you have to be selfish enough and be, to understand how important that person is for your team and work with it. And because it's a creative process, you need the best, and you are selfish enough to try and find the best possible. So you really understand the logic behind why somebody gets cast, doesn't get cast, and just how important it is for producers to work in certain budgets and still tell a good story. And I think every actor should go produce one film to, sort of understand. I have so much respect really for producers after that.
Yeah, and for both of you, any final words on why the audience should catch Bob Biswas?
बहुत ही अलग film है और exciting world है, unpredictable से characters हैं. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है as an audience, and I'm ऐसे नहीं बोल रही कि I'm part of the film, but as an audience मैंने ये दुनिया और इस तरह के characters I think in a long time I haven't seen on screen. So I think for anybody looking for something like this should definitely catch it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.